Hello everybody and welcome to another Linux for Programmers tutorial video. In this video, I'm going to be covering some more Linux commands, specifically ones that are a little bit more advanced or ones that you're not going to be using as frequently but are still useful to know. So with that said, let's get started with these commands. The first command that I'm going to show you is called uptime. Now, uptime does exactly what it says. It shows you the uptime of this system. So you can see here, this system has been up for 22 days. We currently have one user logged in, and then this is the average load that we have. So that is all this command does. Super simple, but definitely worth knowing. Now, the next few commands that I'm going to show you are actually how you can communicate with other users on this Linux machine. So as I said, on Linux devices, you can have multiple users logged in at the exact same time and using the system. So if you are a system admin or maybe you're a super user or something, sometimes you want to broadcast messages to all of the other users that are logged in, or you want to communicate with other users on the Linux system. And well, you can do that directly through Linux. You don't need to go to some third-party messaging app or anything like that. So to actually broadcast a message to all of the other users that are logged into this device, what you can type is the following. You can type wall and then the name of the message that you want to broadcast. So in this case, if I said wall hello, this is going to broadcast a message to all of the logged in users that says hello. Now notice it broadcasted it to ourselves. So it said broadcast message from root at localhost, said the time that it happened at, and then what the message was. Now to better illustrate this to you, I'm going to log in as another user. I'm going to have two SSH windows going at the same time, and I'll show you how this actually appears on the other user's screen. So now I have two of my users logged in. I've got two SSH windows open. So I have my root user and then my tim user. Now from the root user, I will broadcast a message and I will show you how it appears here in the tim SSH window. So if I type wall and then let's just go with hello, we can see that it appears on both SSH windows. So all of the users that were logged in, so tim and root, got this message sent to them. Now that's great, but this command is going to broadcast this message to all of the users, not just one user. So if you only want to communicate with one user, then what you could do is use the write command. Now, if you want to write a message to one person, so only one other user, you type write and then the name of the user you want to write to. So in this case, I want to write to Tim, so I will say write Tim. Now notice it says message from root at localhost. It tells you the time that it's coming in at. And now what I can do is just start typing messages in my root window. So I can type hello, hi, what's up? And I can keep going. And I know I spelled that wrong, but you get the idea. I'm just sending a bunch of messages over here to Tim. Now, as soon as I want to stop, I can just exit over here. Notice it's going to say EOF. And then if I press enter, I can get back into my command line and start typing commands. Now notice here that when I typed that write command, it just automatically took over this SSH window. It took over the terminal and just started outputting something. So sometimes you actually want to disallow users from writing to your console. So for example, if I go over here to my tim window and I type write and then root, you're going to notice that it says root has messages disabled. So what that means is that I cannot actually write messages to the root user because they've disabled them. So to change whether you have write enabled or disabled, or whether you can accept or not accept messages, use mesg, and then you just type y or n. So n is going to disable messages and y is going to enable them. So if I type mesgy, now my messages should be enabled. So now if I try to write to root, notice that I actually can. And if I say hello, it comes in over here. So that is the basics of the write command. And again, if I was over here on Tim and I wanted to disable messages, I would type mesg and then n, and that would disable messages. So I wouldn't be able to send messages to the Tim user. So now that we have that, the next command that I'm going to show you is the who command. Now what this does is just show you all of the users who are logged into the system. So if I type who, we can see that we have the root user logged in and the Tim user logged in. Now, if I had to close this SSH window, Tim would not be here because, well, Tim would not currently be logged in. So that is the who command. Now we're going to move on to the free command. Now what free does is it tells you all of the system resources or all of the memory usage of your system. So if I type free, and let me actually just expand this to be full screen now, you can see that we have our total, our used, and our free memory, and it shows you the regular memory and the swap memory. Now, I'm not going to go through what those mean, but that is what you can use to very quickly see the free and used memory. This is very useful, especially if you're running like machine learning applications or something like that on a Linux machine. So I've just cleared the screen, and the next command that I'm going to show you is the sort command. Now, this is pretty useful if you want to look into file and sort specific lines in that file. So let's actually just create a blank file. I'm going to say nano, and let's just call this sort.txt, and let's just put a bunch of random letters inside of it. We can put some words as well, just some random stuff so we can see how this is going to work. Let's go with yes, no, z, whatever. Okay, so just a bunch of random text in this file. So I've created this file, and now if I exit out of here and I type ls, you can see we have a bunch of files, but we do have sort.txt, which is right here. So if I want to sort this file, what I can do is I can type sort and then the file name. So in this case, this is going to be sort.txt, and then it will return to me all of the lines in this file sorted in ascending order. So it's going to go based on the first character first, obviously, when it's sorting these lines, and that is how you sort a file in ascending order. Now, if I wanted to sort this in descending order, I would type sort-r and then sort.txt. I don't need two spaces there. And now it will sort in the opposite direction. So now we get Z first, and then yes, word, and so on and so forth. So that's pretty useful. I just figured I'd show you that in case you guys have some use for it. And now I will show you how you actually shut down your Linux machine from the command line. Now, I'm not going to actually run this command because I don't want to shut this machine down, but oftentimes you want to shut down or restart your Linux machine, and you want to do that from the command line. So to do that, you can type shutdown and then -h and then now. Now, this shutdown command actually allows you to schedule when you want to shut this machine down. So if you want to shut it down in 10 minutes, then what you can do is shut down -h and then +10, and this will shut down in 10 minutes. Now, I will show you how you can look at all of the details of these commands in 1 second, but if you just want to shut down immediately, you do shutdown -h and then now. And again, if you want to do in 10 minutes, you would do that +10. Now, that is going to shut down the machine, but if you want to restart the machine, what you can do is the following. Shutdown -r, and then now, so you're shutting down the machine and restarting it afterwards, and you're doing that right now. So that is the basics of the shutdown command. Now I'm going to show you a few more useful commands here that allow you to actually look at all of the details of other commands. So there's this command called man, and what this does is bring up the manual, I believe that's what it stands for, of different commands. So if I type man of, say, ls here, notice it brings me into this page. I get a description of what the ls command does. I get the syntax for the command, and then all of the options, and I can kind of arrow key through the different pages here and look at all of the different things that are inside of here. Now, man pages can be quite long. There's a lot of information on here, but if you want to see all of the details relating to a command, then what you type is man and then the name of the command. Now, there's not man pages for every single command, but most of them do have them. Now, if you type Q, this will get you out of this page, so that will quit the man page. But this is very useful when you want to see all the options for a command. For example, if I go man sort, then we can see that there's a lot more options here that I just, can't go through because there's so many to talk about. So that is the basics of the man command. Definitely useful to know. Another thing that's useful to know, if you don't want to look at all of the man pages, you just want to see a very short description of what a command does, is the whatis command. So if you type whatis and then say ls, it gives you a 1-line description of what this command does. So I can say whatis and then sort, I can say whatis and then cat, and so on and so forth. I can just use whatis to get a very quick description of what a command is and what it does. So let me clear the screen. Now I have one more command to show you, and this one is called tail. Now what tail will do is show you the tail of a file. So specifically, it will show you the last 10 lines of the given file. Now you can specify the number of lines that you want this tail command to return for you, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. But let's just run tail on, actually, what files do we have here? Let's see what is inside of test2.txt. So nano test2.txt. Oops, test2 is being edited by root. Yes, we can edit that. Okay, I'm going to close that. I'm just looking for a file that has a decent amount of text inside of it. I think we have one inside of files. So let me cd into files, ls. I think we have nano, and this should be called grep.txt. And yes, we have a bunch of text in there. Awesome. So if I use the tail command on grep.txt, then what this does is show me the last 10 lines of this file. That's the default output for tail. Now, let's say I actually wanted to see the last 20 lines or the last 5 lines. What I would do instead is I would say tail -n and then the number of lines that I want to see. So I could do 3, and now it's going to show me 3 lines. I could do 25. Now it's going to show me 25 lines. I could do 10, and it shows me 10 again. So that is the tail command. Now, those are all of the commands that I wanted to show you. You can argue whether or not these are advanced commands, but these are ones that you're not going to use as frequently, but are kind of cool and interesting to know. So kind of the idea behind this video was just to show you what Linux is really capable of. There's so many different commands, and you can do literally everything from the command line. So understanding things like the man pages, the whatis command, this makes it such that once you see a command, you're able to look up and see exactly how it works, find all the documentation for it, and start messing around with it. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in another YouTube